Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. Now, if someone were to ask, "Hey, what's your favorite album of all time?" I'd say I can't narrow it down to one, but generally people would expect you to say something that's relatively well known, something that is at least tangentially brushing up against the pop world. But one of my favorite albums of all time, it's a bit of jazz fusion album, and it is absolutely perfect from start to finish. And it is by Hal Galper, one of the finest pianists of all time, and it is called his Gorilla Band album. And in that band were people with very familiar names. The Brecker brothers were there, Bob Mann was there, Charles Alice was there. Really, just a great album. And all of the stuff on the album, except for the track "Welcome to My Dreams," was written by Hal Galper, who was one of the finest pianists of all time. Really underappreciated, but people who know music know how great he was. He was so melodic, his sense of harmony was peerless, and he was so exciting without being overbearing. It's the kind of music you can groove to, but also think to. It's got a kind of electricity to it. And this album, of his many great albums, really just it set my world on fire. And it was on Mainstream Records, a really cool jazz label from the 70s. They'd never put out a bad album, so you can't really go wrong on that. And he kept this band more or less together through his follow-up, which is pretty much equally good, called Wild Bird. He then did an album a bit more traditional in terms of arrangements, but still really out there in terms of the compositions, called Inner Journey from 73. Really great stuff. All of the albums that he did throughout the 70s on Mainstream and on other albums were great, and he went from strength to strength during the 80s. Now, he was someone who played a lot with people like Stan Getz, he played with Chet Baker, played with Cannonball Adderley, but his own compositions on his many solo albums are just absolutely sensational, frankly. And until very recent years, he was still putting out albums. He's someone that I think should be considered one of the finest pianists in jazz and in the jazz fusion idiom. Great improviser, plays well with others, and others who were well played with him. So check it out. Check out all the stuff I mentioned, but check out his Gorilla Band album from the early 70s. It's jazz, but it rocks. You'll have to listen to it to know what I mean. Really recommended. Truly one of the finest albums of all time. As always, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.